Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Mike Tyson, 58 years old. Jake Paul, 27 years old. They're getting together out in Texas. What do you think about that fight?
I hope that Mike makes a lot of money. He's a dear and old friend. My television boxing career began calling his first several exposures on ABC Sports back in the 80s. I've known him a long time. I love him. I want his life to be what he wants it to be. And so I hope that Mike does well in the business of the fight and doesn't get hurt. Obviously, when a man is 57, almost 58 years old, going into the ring, I don't care who the opponent is. The opponent could be a figure skater. He's still taking a chance. And so I think that Mike is taking a chance with this because Jake Paul will train. Jake Paul will lift weights. Jake Paul will get himself into shape to do the best that he can possibly do and try to land one big shot and separate Mike from his senses long enough to get a win. So I think the essence of the drama is Jake Paul going to knock Mike out, or is Mike going to go through the necessary motions and show enough energy and commitment over the course of however many rounds it takes to gradually beat down Jake Paul and get a win. And I hope that Mike comes out of it healthy and wealthier.
Dana White was asked about Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and he jokingly said that he thought that Jake Paul was going to fight Clint Eastwood in his next go bout. Do you kind of think that there's a little bit of, is the age difference too much for an actual fight to happen, or is this Mike Tyson and you say you better get out the way still?
The age difference is big enough that the event is dangerous. I kind of wish that Mike had found some other way to do business rather than to fight somebody who's Jake's age and has a chance to get in the kind of shape that Jake might get into. But he's still a far piece removed from understanding boxing and having the kind of refined skills that Mike had at his peak. Again, the question is, how much of Mike do you get to see when he's 57 years old? Again, I love him. I'm rooting for him. I'm not going to make the buy. It's not an event that I want to see. It's too much of a distortion. It's not competition. It's a freak show.
And with that, the age of Mike Tyson and the nature of a boxing event, doesn't it kind of capitalize on, quite frankly, like myself, we miss you guys. We miss seeing Jim Lampley. We miss seeing Oscar De La Hoya. We miss seeing Ray Leonard and Thomas Hearns and Mike Tyson. Does this kind of capitalize on us just wanting to see them and exploit our hunger? And
pure nostalgia, 100%. Obviously, this is about Tyson's unique image and drawing power. I was doing an interview, half hour ago with a couple of other interviewers over on the other side of the room, and they said, in the time that you've been in boxing since 1987, what individual has done the most to move the meter on public attitudes toward the sport? Who has done the most to call attention to boxing? I said, that's easy. Mike Tyson. Nobody else is in the same league as Mike Tyson in terms of how many people pay attention to him. But the vast majority of those people who pay attention to Mike because of his celebrity and his illustrious image don't know anything about boxing, don't really understand the risk that he's taking by going into the ring. We're not faking it here. People are going to hit each other. And again, as you pointed out, he's 57, 58 years old. I think he'll be fine. I think he probably still has enough craft that he can protect himself in the right way against somebody who, no matter how long he trains, is still at that level a novice. So I think that Mike is going to be okay. But my biggest hope about the entire event is that nothing bad happens to my friend.
Any chance that we get to see one more Mike Tyson bomb for the road and he gets Jake Paul out of there inside the distance?
Always a chance, sure. I mean, again, I don't know what's going to happen. That's part of why a lot of people will tune in. Is there is an element of the unknown here, which is in its way perversely attractive. But somebody's going to call me that night and tell me what happened, or I'm going to read about it the next day. I'm not going to be one of the people who buys that as much as I want Mike to make money.